We're back. The Premier League is back, and I'm going to look at week one. These matches were played. Well, the first was played on Friday, and the most of the fixtures on Saturday, and 3 on Sunday. That's August 10th, 11th, and 12th. Now, I'm going to change the format a little bit this year. I'm actually only going to talk about one match in detail, and I'm calling it the match of the weekend. So what have I got to choose from? Well, I'll be honest, I didn't see any standout matches over the weekend, so I'm basically picking the fixture that did stand out, although it wasn't really that competitive. But it certainly had the best quality, and that was the final fixture between Arsenal and Manchester City at the Emirates. Manchester City deservedly beating the Arsenal on the opening day. The Gunners were playing their first competitive game without Arsene Wenger in charge, and he had been in charge since 1996. So it was a little bit strange. They were well beaten by the defending champions, however, and Sterling on the left wing in for Leroy Sané was a standout throughout. He opened the scoring in the 14th minute when he got the ball on the corner of the box, cut beyond two players, Bellerin and one of the new signings for Arsenal, Guendouzi. You can't miss him because of his Afro-style haircut. And then Sterling rifled home from 20 yards, whizzed past Cech, who didn't really seem to make much of an effort. Maybe he was unsighted, or maybe it just went too quickly. Anyway, that was Sterling's 50th Premiership goal, made up for all those that he didn't get in the World Cup. Riyad Mahrez, the £60 million signing, was on show, and he went close to scoring on his debut for City when his free kick was saved by Cech. The Algerian looked good on the ball on that right, and he gave Maitland-Niles a torrid time, as did Kyle Walker up that right side. And Niles ended up going off after 35 minutes with an injury. City were really in control throughout, and they killed off the game when Benjamin Mendy, looking extremely promising down the left, he assisted in both goals, and for the second he put in Bernardo Silva on 64 minutes, who finished it off in style from just near the penalty box. So that was City 2-0. Goal scorer at Wembley in the Charity Shield, Sergio Aguero, well, he should have made it 3 with his 202nd City goal when he was one-on-one with Cech, but the keeper blocked the effort. City keeper Edison had a few nervy passes late on, but Arsenal were toothless up front, really. And although they had a couple of shots from long range from Aubameyang and Lacazette, they really never troubled the defence of Man City, with Stones outstanding alongside Laporta. It wasn't a classic, but the quality was evident up there, and it's my match of the weekend anyway. Certainly City have laid down a marker for the Premier League already. Guardiola was very satisfied with the performance, and the man of the match, Raheem Sterling. He was certainly looking sharp. Now let's take a quick run through the other results. Starting on Friday, Manchester United beat Leicester 2-1. Pogba and Shaw for the Red Devils, and Vardy got a very late consolation for the Foxes. On to Saturday, the early game, Newcastle 1, Spurs 2. Vertonghen, who doesn't score that often, managed to get in the way on 4 minutes to put Spurs 1 up. Joselo equalised shortly after, but Dele Alli, midway through the first half, headed in 2-1, and that's how it ended. Bournemouth at home to the newly promoted Cardiff. They looked far too strong for Cardiff, and goals from Fraser and Wilson sent them to a 2-0 win. Eddie Howard very pleased with that start. Neil Warnock, Cardiff's coach, was diplomatic, although he did get a bit flustered on the technical area. But no doubt we'll hear more from Neil as the season progresses. Another newly promoted team, Fulham, against Crystal Palace. Fulham lost 2-0, and I think they had a rude awakening about how tough it's going to be in this league. Slupp and Zaha were Palace's scorers. Benteke looked quite strong in that game. So at the John Smith Stadium, Huddersfield lost 3-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea really didn't have to do that much. Huddersfield were dreadful. Goals from Kante, the new signing Jorginho from the penalty spot, and in the second half, Pedro. It really was Kante at a canter. Vicarage Road, Watford defeated Brighton 2-0. Pereira, 2 goals. He looks extremely sharp. Brighton disappointing. The third promoted team, the one that I fancy to do quite well, Wolves. They entertained Everton at Molineux. It was a sellout, and it was quite an exciting game. It ended up 2-2. Wolves look likely to take a few scalps this season if they play like this. Everton signing Richarlison opened the scoring on 17 minutes. He's followed Marco Silva from Watford, and he cost 50 million, but he repaid it quickly by getting the opening goal. Jagielka managed to get sent off on 40 minutes for a fairly reckless challenge, and shortly after, Neves, I've heard quite a bit about him, scored a delightful goal from the free kick. It's definitely got to be a goal of the weekend. Into the second, Richarlison got Everton back in front, but Jimenez got the equaliser on 80. Espirito Santo, the boss of Wolves, very realistic, and said it was a hard-earned point. On to Sunday's games. Well, we've heard about Arsenal and City. Prior to that, we saw Liverpool completely wallop West Ham 4-0. It really was a toothless performance from the Hammers in front of their new manager, Pellegrini. Goals from Salah, who else? And 2 from Mane, and a 4th from Sturridge, Daniel Sturridge. He came on and scored within seconds to wrap it all up 4-0.